If you had to name the devil for you, the biggest devil among them?
That would be me.
What's going on, y'all? It's the kid Mitch Mula, and you watching Sacrifice Season. This is episode 2, part 2 of a 2-part series where we breaking down the connection between Jennifer Hudson, Clive Davis, and Whitney Houston. In the last video, we broke down the connection between Jennifer Hudson and Clive Davis, and you've seen how weird and twisted that was. This video, we're going to get more into Whitney Houston's connection to Clive Davis. Mind you, Whitney established her connection with Clive years and years and years before Jennifer Hudson established hers. And more than likely is part of the reason Clive even went to go and establish that connection with Jennifer to begin with. He out here looking for a new Whitney and all that, you know. So let's start by getting into Whitney's background a little bit before we go into her dealings with Clive. We know Whitney, great artist, legendary career. None of that can ever be taken away from her. We just get into the specifics of a couple of things. But let's give a brief overview. You know, she was born in Jersey. She's a Jersey girl, born in 1982. Her mama, Emily Houston, Sissy, as most people know her as, she was part of a Grammy Award-winning gospel group called the Drinkard Sisters, Drinkard being her maiden name, I believe. She also did some solo work where she had won some Grammys too. So, you know, her mama was up there. Her mama was ingrained in the music industry. Her daddy was an army man, military man. That's something to take note of too now. Her daddy was a military man from the army who later became an administrator for the then Newark, New Jersey mayor, Kenneth Gibson. So she had some parents that was bigwigs. It's looking like Whitney was a nepotism baby. You know what I'm saying? She got in because of who she came from. That is what it's looking like. To add to that, her first cousins are Dion and Dee Dee Warwick. You know, they big in the gospel circuit too now. So, you know, she come up singing, having a great voice. She also did some modeling. By the time the early 80s came around, she's going around singing with her mama. One of the A&Rs that worked for Clive Davis had seen her and liked her. Went and told Clive, like, you gotta go check this girl out. He went, checked her out, and ended up signing her in 83. And Whitney was like 19 at the time. She was a little kid at the time. So from there, you know, she paid her dues, doing little features here and there. She did one with Teddy Pendergrass, R.I.P. She did one with Jermaine Jackson, who she also was rumored to have been dating at a certain point. But anyway, that's not the point. By the time 85 come around, she dropped her first album. I think it was self-titled. By the time 86 come around, that album went all the way up to number 1 and stayed at number 1 for 14 weeks on a Billboard Top 200. That's the big boy chart, if you don't know. So from there, you know, the rest is history. She had that legendary run, all type of crazy stuff. Movie, she did The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner. Soundtrack went crazy. All type of power ballads that was just taking over the world. You know, she got a gang of them. I Have Nothing, I Will Always Love You. How many can you name? Like, there's so many. However, you know, late 90s, like 99, probably early 2000s, stuff started looking a little rocky. Everybody knows she married Bobby Brown in 92. So they were kind of a couple that was the topic of discussion a lot. By the time the late 90s, early 2000s come around, now she's starting to get a reputation. She's showing up to interviews late. She's missing performances. People saying she's difficult to work with. One time on the trip to Hawaii, apparently they had found like a half an ounce of marijuana inside her and Bobby's bag. I don't know if it was her bag, Bobby's bag. They was together though, and they found that on them. They got to the outlets and people, the rumor mills just started swirling. You know how it go. On top of that, the public appearances she did make, her appearance was alarming. People looking at her like, why are you looking like this? Her weight is fluctuating and actually trending downward for the most part. She's looking unhealthy. People are getting concerned. Eventually, she shook back or tried to shake back, like in the 2009 times. She did the interview with Oprah everybody got to do when they want to show that they're in their right mind and everything is okay. She went to Oprah. She started back singing again, looking healthy again. Stuff started looking like it's about to start trending upwards. We about to start seeing the Whitney of old again. Sadly though, 2012, stuff turned around and it got real dark real quick. Grammy time, 2012. Clive Davis has a party that he has every year. Beverly Hilton, where all of the Grammy attendees for the most part are staying at. It's Grammy weekend. All the big wigs is out there at Beverly Hills. They there. It's time to show up and show out. So they all at the Beverly Hilton parlaying. People doing press, you know what I'm saying? Gets to a point where Clive Davis is doing an interview with Brandy and Monica, two other ladies that got connections to Whitney. Brandy that did movies with Whitney. They both got music with Whitney. And Clive Davis is dealing with them both. He's doing an interview. I forgot which publication it was for. Doesn't even matter. In the middle of the interview, they're all sitting there with cameras on them, rolling. Whitney comes into the room, very erratic, dripping water from head to foot. She's dripping water everywhere. Her hair is dripping. Everything's dripping. She has a daughter with her. She comes in there making a scene. She's like aggressively introducing her daughter to Clive Davis as like her grandpa or something. I forgot what it was. But she's like, yeah, this is my dad. This is my dad. Come meet your grandpa. Come meet your grandpa. She's like aggressively doing it. Like it was very weird to watch. And the whole time she's dripping wet with water. In the midst of all of that, she slipped Brandy a note. Looked like a handwritten note in a folded piece of paper. She slipped it to Brandy, trying to be low, like we can't see you, but there's cameras on you. Literally, we saw everything. So she go in there, slip the note to Brandy. She yelling out Clive Davis is her dad and wants her daughter to meet her grandpa, and she dripping wet. Brandy and Monica sitting there looking mad concerned, as they should have been. And we still don't have no answer to that. Brandy does not speak of the note. She will never reveal what was on the note. Her words. During this very weekend, after that happened, tragically, they found Whitney in her bathtub, unresponsive, not alive, drowned in her bathtub inside of the Beverly Hilton. That story in itself, a lot of speculation behind it. They're saying this was in her system and that was in her system. We don't know the truth. What we do know is that it's very weird for somebody to drown in a bathtub. That's weird. I don't care what's in your system. That's very, very weird. What's even weirder is that Clive Davis decided to carry on with his annual Grammy party, just a couple floors above where that happened to Whitney at. Which means they found out about the news. They said, oh man, that's crazy. Well, let's get dressed and head to the party. They went to the party. Guaranteed that's all they was talking about in there. How could you even go along with that? Shaka Khan actually did an interview where she like, yo, that's crazy that they went along with that. I don't want to hear anybody say that, oh, Whitney would have wanted it that way, because Whitney's not that kind of woman. Whitney's the kind of woman that would have said, nah, stop all of it. If I ain't going to be there, you got to stop it. That's what Shaka Khan said. And in that very same interview, I believe it was Larry King, which is crazy. Easily verifiable. You can go look it up. She said that the music industry is demonic. I told you in another video, words mean things. They mean things. People say words and people just gloss over it. You can't do that. Why would she get on Larry King Live and say that the music industry is demonic right after Whitney Houston dies? That is not weird to anybody. Nobody ever hears these things and thinks anything is weird. How often do you use the word demonic in your everyday vocabulary when you're just talking? Why are they using these kind of words? Anyway, to add to the mystery of it all, 3 years later, in 2015, Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina, named after her daddy, was also found in a bathtub, face down, drowned, 3 years after her mom died. She died sometime after because her brain failure. She had brain failure. and they decided to pull the plug later on down the line. That is also not weird to anybody. Rule number one over here is that I don't believe in no coincidences. So ain't no way you're gonna tell me that Whitney drowned in a bathtub, then 3 years later, the daughter drowned in a bathtub too. And that's just happenstance. It's all one great big coincidence. No way. Can you even guess what happened after Whitney died? Not long after that, Clive Davis is walking around, parading around with Jennifer Hudson, saying that Jennifer Hudson, we haven't seen no talent like Jennifer since Whitney. That's what Clive was going around saying after Whitney has died. So if you want to know what the connection between those three is, it's Clive Davis. That's the common denominator. Where he goes, other people go, but they going in a different way, if you get what I'm saying. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think Clive Davis had something to do with both Jennifer and Whitney? Or do you just think that everything is one great big coincidence and stuff just be happening the way it happens? And they're telling you the truth about everything. Let me know in the comments how you feel. And also let me know some other people whose stories you want me to tell. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You already know it's the kid Mitch Mula. I'm out of here. You dig.